Hey everybody, welcome to Rousing Reads. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be reviewing The Terminal List by Jack Carr. Why am I reviewing a book from 2018, you might ask? The reason we're looking at The Terminal List today is because Amazon picked it up to become a new series on Amazon Prime Video, starring the one and only Pratt to be the main character, our protagonist, James Reese. So that's why I want to get into this book today, let you guys know about it so you can read it before it comes out in 2022. The Terminal List is written by Jack Carr. Jack Carr is a former Navy SEAL, and that aspect shines through when reading this book as our main character, James Reese. He's a Navy SEAL himself. The Terminal List follows around James Reese, U.S. Navy SEAL, whose unit gets entirely wiped out in Afghanistan in an ambush. Reese is the only one left alive, and to pile it on this poor fella, upon his return to Coronado, those closest to him are also murdered. Reese discovers, ultimately, there's some greater conspiracy going on. Duh, it's a thriller. Reese puts two and two together. He determines that these events were no accident, and there's a greater conspiracy going on, and that this conspiracy reaches to the highest echelons of the U.S. government. As we can see on the cover here, we got D.C. there, so you know something's going on politically with it. Reese decides he's going to take action and turns himself into a one-man wrecking crew, and Reese is going to use his military background and experience and knowledge to help him take down those responsible. So let's talk about what I liked about this book. I thought the book was really well done. Especially for Carr's debut novel. You wouldn't know that this guy hasn't written a book before, so he did an excellent job with this. And as far as like the tactics and the gear, it all feels very real. You can tell that his SEAL background helped him write this book. I thought the pacing was great, and I thought Carr's description of the action sequences were hyper real. It kind of has that like John Wick vibe to each action sequence, which is really cool. And then you tie that in with a Clancy style thriller, kind of the best of both worlds. And that's also why I'm excited to see it adapted to the screen. I can't wait to see how Pratt takes on the role of James Reese. Really excited to see that. I thought the conspiracy plot in this book is plausible. I don't want to get into too many details on this review. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but that's why I'll be doing a separate spoiler review on this book. So if you do go out, read this, or you already read it and you want to hear my thoughts on every little detail of the book, we'll get into that on a spoiler review. But for this video, I don't want to reveal too much. But just to say, the conspiracy was pretty plausible, and obviously it's a work of fiction. So why do we read fiction novels for stuff that isn't real? I do have a couple gripes with this book. I won't really get into it on this review. Again, I don't want to reveal any spoilers. My gripes aren't big enough to deter anybody from reading this book, and they don't take too much away from the book either. This book is for anybody who likes a good thriller, whether that's a political thriller or spy thriller. Just be aware of the violence. There's a good amount of violence, and Carr does a good job describing that violence, so it could be a little gory for some. So if you're and nothing that's way too intense, and you could almost skip some of those parts. I mean, you don't want to skip them, but some of the details you can, skip a paragraph ahead because you know what's going to happen essentially. But he does a really good job describing it, and you can tell his SEAL experience really helped him with that. If you're a Tom Clancy fan or a Brad Thor fan, this is going to be a book for you. And also, if you're a tactical gear nerd, Carr goes in depth on the gear that Reese is using, the weapons, his accessories, like what kind of optics is he using. So if you're really into that stuff, you'll also really like this book. I think, again, Carr's experience with those weapons and tactics and stuff helps him describe these things, and you can tell he knows what he's talking about when it comes to the gear. That wraps things up for this video. If you want to get into this book before the Prime series comes out, I have a link in the description below where you can pick up the book. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you want more reviews like this, please subscribe. And also, if you want to catch a spoiler review for this book, you'll also want to be subscribed and click the bell icon so you get alerted when new videos come out. If there are any books that you want me to review, comment down below.